Welcome to this Zentangle Quickie. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a certified Zentangle teacher, and today we're going to take a look at the tangle Rayga from CZT Anoeska Waardenburg. And I hope I've pronounced that close. All right. So this, as I was looking, I'm like, oh, this reminded me of Quickie, this one, that we did a few days ago. And if you're following every day, and it's like, oh, but it's a border, and then you wouldn't have to figure out how to make that one as a border, because you can. It's a little tricky, but all right. So this one starts off with, let me make them a little bit a little wavy, maybe. Yeah. Okay. So it starts off with a pair of double lines, so a double line, and then your space. And there. Okay. Next part is a little tricky-ish. It just depends. I always have trouble with these elongated S shapes. And if you've done perk, that's one. That one, though, it kind of loops around one and then comes down. Oh, well, that would be kind of a neat addition to this. Oh, well, I might have to think about that. So I'm going to start on this line. We're going to do it in between on the inner lines. And so I turned it this way, so that way, because it just helps me to do it. And I'm going to start on the line, come down, and I'm trying to have a little bit more of a slope than I did in my version of the step outs. We'll see if I can maintain it. Sometimes it's like, okay, I've got one in a row. All right. And then the other thing that I didn't pay attention to or didn't really realize till after I was playing with it is that, well, these should be closer together than I was thinking. I had them pretty far apart, and now I have them kind of weird, but that's okay. There we go. And still, bottom line, don't worry about it. Let's just put a there. Okay. So when you get one done, then we're going to come through and essentially aura the line. Now, here's a neat course corrector. You could do it on either side. It's not going to matter. So like this one, I have some more space between here. Oh, actually, and let's I'll start with that little partial aura, but I'm going to do the aura on this side. Like that. And kind of, let's see, let me look at hers again. Yeah. You can have them kind of meet at the top and at the bottom. Up to you. And then so that's what I do is I assess each one. It's like, okay, which side do I have a little bit more room, and then I can use that. And then too, thinking, okay, as I'm going forward, well, let's do it this way. Because you want to think a little bit ahead on that, because you wouldn't, looking at the next one at least, because that was like, oh, because if you have to see, well, what are you taking away from? What are you giving to? Type of thing. Like I said, it's just a nice course corrector. So even when you see it on the step out and you say, oh, they've put the second line on this one side, just remember when you see that, you don't have to do it that way. All right, next. And this is why you kind of need them close together. So you could do them far apart. But after I was playing with it, I'm going, oh, wait a minute. Why do I have this gap here? Why does it look different? Oh, because in Anoeska's, she has this next step touching, we're going from middle of here to the bottom of here. And I'm like, oh, okay. So, I mean, you could have it, like I said, you could have it wider if you want. All right. So this, I had an interesting time playing with this. So I'm going to maybe... It's a debate. Kind of an S shape. Like that. And first I started doing them from here and then fanning it out this way. I was like, then after I noticed that it was touching, I'm like, no, let's do it this way. And then up to you, you could do, and what I like to do a lot of times is subdivide again and again. Or, because we're going to do this on the one side, you could just, I kind of like this a little bit better. Whoops. And I'm going to say it doesn't matter how many lines you have here. You just want to have it fill in. And the S shape, at least coming from here, it's like what's the opposite of merging? We're unmerging. We're peeling off of this line to here. So that way, just like I said, it looks like it's, was a part. All right, and we're doing this on all the bottoms. And come to think of it, I can't remember. I remember seeing it some time ago. It seems like any Oaken had. All right, we're going to make up. Okay, this would be about here. Had a tangle that makes me think of like this stroke. Was it rake or something like that? I'm going to have to look it up. Maybe we'll add that one in soon. And it's just always good. Go slow. Here, let's see. That works. Okay. And once you've got your practice done here, then turn your tile. Same thing again. But it's going to be on the opposite side. So opposite side of this, which means when you turn your tile or your paper, whatever you're working on, it's still going to be the same stroke because, it is on the opposite side. All right, so then, staying about the same distance, I'm going about halfway-ish up. And why I like to start in the middle and continue over, I have no idea, but that's what I do. And this is definitely one that, that one has to go way out. As I was doing it, I'm like, well, this looks, like a hot mess. And it's one of those, just wait till you're finished. Just wait. It's all good. And one thing I think I'm going to probably end up doing is redefining some of these lines because they get a little goopy. Although, you know what? I'm going to add the shading first because the shading should take care of some of that I'm seeing. Where you have many lines coming together, it can look like that. All right, and seeing this, I would have one coming and going like that. And that. All right. And that is it. Speaking of that, like how many times can I say whatever in a row? You kind of get, what do they call that? Like a word worm? I don't know. All right. So then for shading, I like how she did this. So I'm just putting some graphite right here, kind of where the lines gather, not going too far down, just trying to concentrate it right there. And let's just do the one side. And then we're going to bring it down just a tad. And you can see, whoa, transformation. Woo. And this because I am working small. You want to just be careful so that way, look at that though, man. That you have some of your natural tile, whatever your tile color is, so that way you have some of it. And that really, really, it gives you that bendy look. And it's just so neat. Now, something else, sort of in that one, something I noticed, and I'm not sure if, it might have just been an afterthought. It might have been, how she did all of, whoa, not that pen. I put the pen I'm using, so far away. It's just silly. But here's something. I mentioned redefining lines. And I noticed it seemed like on one of her, on a sample, I think it was, let's see. Oh, there's only one sample. There's the sample and then there's the last square in the step out. And actually kind of both of them, it looked like, as I redefined that line. And that's what it looks like maybe she did. So I'm going to do the top two. Or also. Oops. You just have to be careful not to make a bigger mess, and that's why going slow. Also, besides it thickens it a little bit, it neatens up some of the areas. And I don't know that you need to do the other one. I mean, of course you could. And let's see. It doesn't look so much like she did the inside ones, but you could. Or at least like here, I'm going to just neaten that up a little bit. I thought the shading takes away some of it, so you don't notice it as much. That's it. It's really, really cool. Now, here's some things that I'm thinking of, but I think I want to leave. Well, I don't know yet. Maybe I'll talk myself into it. I don't know. But this is one that, I would probably end up leaving like this. However, part of me is thinking, you could darken in that double line. I kind of like it the way it is, though. But if I was almost thinking about it, could I do that? And then do these, and put a little shine in the middle? Maybe. I don't know. But it's just some thoughts of things that you could do. I kind of like it the way it is. It's just so neat that it looks so bendy. And that's what made me think. That's why I was like, oh, look it. Well, and if you look at the inside part of these, it is very similar. Now, I don't know that I would, you could pair them. It could look neat, but sometimes I personally like to have something that contrasts. So, anywho, really, really neat. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, would love it if you click the like button. And if you liked it enough to see more, go ahead and click the subscribe button as well. In the description section, you will find links to the step outs. I always do my own version and then link to the creator of the tangle. So you will find those. Below that, my link tree, and that has links to everything that I could think of at the time, and I can change it as I need to. And it's nice because you just have one link. That I don't have to change everything all the time. It's just really a cool tool. So you'll find link to my website where you can follow my blog, and eventually I'll have the tangle categories filled out. I think I need to sequester myself for like a month or something, and then I'll get it done. But actually, I know one thing on the YouTube channel. So if you click on my picture or my name, it'll take you to the main page of the YouTube channel. And there you'll see I have a gazillion playlists. So if you are looking for something in particular, you might find a playlist. I think I need to pare them down a little bit, but I think I'm going to maybe transfer at least those names and links over to my website. That might be helpful. So that would be a good intermediary step, I suppose. But anyway, I like to share my plans, and then someday I'll get them done. So you'll find that link to my website. You can see that I do classes on there. There's not a way to follow me on my website, at least as of right now, as far as classes goes. So if you happen to be on Facebook, you can follow my page there. There's a link that's one of the icon links. And you'll see that I post classes there. There's a couple other links for Eventbrite and Meetup where I also will post classes. What else? I should lead off with, I'm trying to remember that tomorrow. If you would like to hang out and tangle and just talk things Zentangle with a bunch of tangle addicts, we'd love to have you. We have a wonderful group on Facebook, a private group, and there are 4 questions to answer when you click on the link, and after that gets you in. So we would love to have you if you happen to be on that platform. So anyway, all the other links self-explanatory. Feel free to share this, leave comments, all of that kind of thing. I appreciate any and all of those activities as it helps the algorithm to share the tangle with the tangle. Yeah, the tangle. The channel with others. The tangles with others. That's what it essentially does. All right. So with that, thank you so much for watching, and I wish you happy tangling.